live from the Crown Plaza Hotel in Edison, New Jersey. Welcome to the Week 5 podcast here. I'm your award-winning host, Robert E. Wright III. We got a pretty good lineup for you guys here today. As you guys may or may not... Okay, first of all, get in this right away. Why I'm wearing a suit at 7:46 p.m. So, I'm away for work for the next 3 nights. And my dumbass actually forgot my suitcase. So, I'm kind of contemplating right now, do I want to wear the same suit for the next 3 days in the same clothes, which I really don't care, or do I want to go buy some new clothes, which I really don't need because anyone who knows me, I probably have more clothes than the richest teenage girl. I mean, I have a stupid amount of dress clothes and suits. I really don't need any. I'll just cut the chase. We're also sponsored by Chewy Sprees. These things cause cavities, but they're delicious. And I'll give a little shout out to my tailor, Distillo in Squirrel Hill. Whenever I used to live in Pittsburgh, she did a great job. She works on a lot of the Steelers. Use my name, and she will not know who I am. So don't use my name, actually. But definitely, if you are a big suit guy, like actually, I think Mike might be the only one who really wears suits. Definitely check her out. But anyways, I have no clothes right now except for this shit. So pretty much just gonna strip out of this after this and just lay in my bed the rest of the night. So yeah, that's my suit story. I'm also without Iceberg, so the struggle is a little real right now. I'd like to give a shout out here to Trevor. He was the top point getter in Week 5. You guys sent me some pretty funny questions here. We'll get him here. We'll get him on the phone here in 5 minutes. He's actually at a trivia night right now. I'm sure his team just consists of a bunch of winners, so I'm sure he's probably the anchor of that team. We'll jump into the scores here. And as you guys saw in the GroupMe chat, it's pretty competitive right now. We have I think like 6 or 7 teams at 3-2, and Placey went at 4-1. And then we have like Jordan at 0-5, who I refuse to give Jordan any more analysis. I'm not even going to plug his name the rest of the year until he gets a win, because we don't have time for teams that are winless in this league. I mean, it's all about being competitive here. We cannot have dead weight in this league. It's sickening. We'll get into I'm in the wrong league. Yep. All right. I'll Chris Berman it here. The Week 5 scores. We'll start off with Jared versus Carmen here, and this was a big rebound win for Jared, fresh off his 65-point performance. That's the thing about fantasy football is whenever you have like a real shit week like that, you know you're gonna bounce back because a lot of your guys are gonna wake up the following week. And he took down Carmen Lloyd Christmas, who's been pretty hot out of the gate here. David Johnson had a big night on Thursday Night Football for Jared, so a little tough for Carmen but Carmen had Larry Fitzgerald, so it was almost a trade-off there. And then Martellus Bennett, I don't think any of us saw him scoring 3 touchdowns, but then anything's possible. Tom Brady. I mean, you look at whenever they had Aaron Hernandez before he became a murderer, he was putting up as many touchdowns as Gronk. So I mean, Brady loves to throw the ball, and Jared even beat him with Victor Cruz getting him 0 points, and he had Cam Newton hurt this week. So what killed Carmen was AJ Green only getting 4 catches. That's one of his aces there. So that's a tough loss for Carmen. Congrats to Jared, improving. Both these teams are now 3-2. Moving to the next matchup here, and we'll take Placey versus George. Placey is. I don't think any of us really saw him being the top point, or I don't think any of us really saw him being in first place, just really at any point in the season. And 5 weeks in, he is at 4-1. So I got to give credit where credit is due. Placey's proving the naysayers wrong. But like, who the fuck saw Sammy Coates scoring 2 touchdowns? And like, I know that like, yeah, he had a good fantasy game, but if you watch that game, some of the drops he had were just so frustrating. I mean, whenever you got everyone all over Antonio Brown, they're gonna throw it to Sammy Coates. So good call, Placey, on starting Sammy Coates. Not many people did. Whereas George, I mean, Tom Brady, get ready, because I think I have George this week or coming up here. I'm not looking forward to playing Tom Brady. As well as T.Y. Hilton had a nice showing, 33 points, but unfortunately it wasn't good enough for old George here. And Placey took down the champ by a score of 132.3 to 126.8. So congrats to Placey, improving to 4-1, while George drops to 3-2. Move on to the next matchup here. Team Bonesaw took out Shitty Farm Team 3 after his controversial interview last week. Matter just pretty much put up half as many points as he did the week before. You look at Matter's score. Only people that really showed up were, and they barely showed up, was Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. They each put up 15. Other than that, no one really did anything. Whereas Team Bonesaw, Le'Veon Bell, I mean, patience pays off right now. You got the juices back in 24.4, especially all those catches he's going to be getting out in the backfield on all these screenplays. It's 1 point right there every time. That racks up pretty quickly in a PPR league. So Le'Veon Bell, he's the PPR king. Hopefully, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it for the sake of Steeler Nation. But congrats to Bonesaw improving to 3-2. While Shitty Farm Team 3 drops 2-3. Move on to the next matchup here. Durawanko versus he who will not be named until he gets a W. Durawanko beat this guy 117.1 to 103.4. Look at Durawanko's. Odell Beckham Jr. finally got in the end zone. I don't know if you guys even watched Sunday Night Football. He gave the kicking net a kiss after he beat the hell out of it a few weeks ago. What else here? Arizona's D had a nice outing. I mean, Durawanko really didn't do anything that out of the ordinary. He put up enough points, but whenever you're beating the 0-5 team, it's really nothing to be that proud of. I'm sure Durawanko's all happy, but give him no credit whatsoever. Everyone should beat this guy because he clearly can't win. So, but we do appreciate our bronze level sponsor this season. Move on to my matchup here. I took down Mike by a score of 131.2 to 85.5, and it's funny because Mike sent me a text during the week saying you're going to destroy me, which I looked in the matchup. I didn't see where I was going to destroy him whatsoever. I thought it was going to be relatively close, but really, when it came down to, Eli Manning didn't do shit for him. Duke Johnson didn't do much. This Howard guy on the Bears has been pretty clutch. I have in my other league. And surprisingly, Edelman only put up 8.5 with Tom Brady back in the lineup for it. But I swear every single time I did see Patriot highlights, this Hogan dude was getting these 70-yard catches. So got a nice outing on him. But, when your defense gets to 0 points, it's tough really to compete. So I improved to 131 point. So I improved to 3-2 while Mike drops to 3-2. Move on to the last matchup here, and you got to feel for Casey here because he had the second most amount of points this week, and he put up 141. He could have easily knocked down Trevor this week. That's the matchup here. This Crown Plaza Wi-Fi is pretty shitty. Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott went off for him. Mike Evans went off. Greg Olsen went off. This 140. Whenever you put up 141 points, you deserve to win. So I'm gonna have to say congratulations, Casey. Keep your head up high. Yeah, you're 1-4, but you just haven't really caught too many breaks so far starting out. And whenever your fucking kicker gets you 23 points, which that's just typical Trevor right there. Just getting lucky at the right time. So can't wait to ask him about his kicker. Damn, that's impressive. And Theo Riddick, where he went off for me in FanDuel, so I appreciated that. So I'm going to get Hollywood on here on the phone here. So some of you guys came up with some pretty funny questions. Looking forward to asking some of these here.
Hello.
We would now like to welcome to the award-winning podcast, Mr. Trevor Fetch. Trevor, congratulations on your Week 5 success. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing pretty good. I started out real slow, 0-3, and then out of nowhere, all my guys started playing.
Yeah, I mean, you took me down last week. You took down Casey, who had the second most points, so that's a pretty impressive milestone. You also had a kicker who went off, who I was just talking shit on. But take me through your week success with some of your players here.
Um, well, yeah, Adam Vinatieri had hit 5 field goals and 2 extra points. I think he came out with 23 points. Ben Roethlisberger had a solid day. He had high 20 to 28 or something like that. Brandon Marshall also did pretty well in the high 20s against the Steelers defense, which I actually had the Steelers defense.
It's a win-lose right there. So
yeah, I was kind of hedged on that one, unfortunately, but it worked out fairly well.
Speaking of hedged, we got some funny questions here. Actually, first of all, before I jump in these questions, take me through what are you getting ready to partake in here?
Oh, we got a trivia tonight.
And who is your trivia team, Trevor?
Well, the only consistent part of the trivia team is me and Lindsay, but we have a rotating supporting cast. Placey and his old lady shows up sometimes. Miker comes down every now and then. We have a couple of Lindsay's friends that rotate in and out. But me and Lindsay are the core, and our team name is Better Late Than Pregnant.
This hopefully, hopefully this isn't karma biting you in the ass here soon, Trevor.
Of course it's not.
Well, speaking of, we actually have a question related to that, so just keep that in mind here. So I'm going to jump in these questions here. They were pretty funny. As it is well documented, Trevor is I'm not going to say he is the cheapest person any of us know. And pretty much all these questions, one way or the other, relate to money. So
that's what I expected. I was hoping, there's a small part of me that was hoping that my friends would just ask questions to get to know me on a deeper level, and then I thought, no, they're probably just gonna make fun of me about me.
Yeah, that's pretty much what these interviews come down to, is getting to know you with some of these, but for the most part, it is all about just it's a roast, and we have fun with it though. So question one is, we'll call this guy Jack. And it is, do you regret letting Hickey give a speech at your wedding first, seeing that it completely buried Palacey?
No. Well, it'd be weird if the best man gave the first speech, and then Hickey, who I'm pretty sure no one really knew why Hickey was talking in the first place, gave the second speech.
That is so true.
Did a really good job.
Placey was a little above average, but Hickey stole the show.
I was gonna say, well, here's the thing: if Hickey didn't talk, Placey was really good. But the problem is Brian really didn't know that he was actually going to give a speech until the night before. He thought it was a joke until Lindsay texted him the day before and was like, "Did you write your speech?" And he said, "Wait, I'm actually doing it." But they both did really well. But yeah, I mean, I like how it played out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it played out well, but I got to give credit to credit's due there with Jack. I mean, that question was spot on, and we have a money management question, and it is Trevor. I have yet to receive a thank you card after giving you a nice chunk of money. Where is it?
Oh, it's on my table, actually. So, I assume whoever submitted this question, I see all the time. And the people that I see all the time are sitting on my table still, because I don't want to pay for a stamp to send it to you, bastards. But I keep forgetting. But I have yours, actually. Yours, Carmen's, Placey's, Steve, Ben Matta's, Miker's, Hickey's. They're all on one stack on my table.
Are you seriously not mailing them out because you will not pay for a stamp?
Yeah, I was going to send you yours as a PDF. Is that all right?
Just give it to me in Johnstown.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good idea. I should bring those to Johnstown.
There you go. There you go. Saving more money.
Dude, stamps are expensive these days, man.
I don't even pay for them. I expense them, so it's kind of nice.
I don't have that luxury. And see, well, it's not just the stamps for like. All right, you're thinking, oh, what's 40 cents? So we had to pay for stamps for invitations to the shower, invitations to the wedding, thank you card, and all that times like 250. That shit adds up.
Yeah, it's coming down to what?
I know. You'll find out actually.
It's like 100 and some bucks, Trevor. If I'm doing my math right, it's about 100 and some bucks.
That's like 60 cents.
Okay, so it's between $100 and $200 roughly, correct?
That's a lot of money to spend on stamps.
Just make more. You have all your life to make more.
And Lindsay just informed me that our invitations needed 2 stamps.
Wow, you guys must have had some high quality stamps there.
Well, here's another thing you learn, Robbie. Take note of this. If your invitations have like cardstock paper, it goes over the weight limit for 1 stamp. So they're just normal invitations, but they require double stamps. Then we also have to send thank you cards for the shower. Yeah, I'm telling you, stamps is like engagement party, all that stuff. The stamps add up. You gotta cut these corners where you can.
Well, it's noted, and that's some nice financial advice. We do appreciate that, Trevor. We will move on. This is another pretty much money related question. Have you or Corbs ever gained anything financially through a party bus trip or anything that money has gone through?
Well, see, this is gonna get put out on YouTube, and I don't want to get audited, so I'm gonna plead the fifth.
That's fair enough. We won't. You don't have to elaborate anymore. We don't need anyone getting in trouble here.
Well, I don't need the IRS checking out this video.
It's been
anything in the mail.
You know, it's an award-winning podcast. I mean, this goes out there. I think Jim Stanish watches it. So I mean, you don't know you don't know the trail.
If it makes its way down to Uniontown, it makes its way everywhere.
It's getting big, is right. Next question's a little strange. You have to kiss one of the McCormicks on the mouth. Which one do you choose?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Pat.
Elaborate.
I'm gonna go with Pat. I'm gonna say because Tom always has a beard, and so I feel like that'd be a lot more weird. And if Pat's usually kind of clean shaven.
It's fair enough.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
I would probably pick the same. I mean, if I was asked that question, so I guess that's an okay answer. Next question is, where in your yard are you going to bury the $25? Because God knows you're not spending it.
Where in my yard am I going to bury $25?
The $25 you won?
Oh, the $25. Oh, well, so currently, this past weekend, I had a handful of my friends dig another giant hole that's it's about 10 to 12 feet long and 4 or 5 feet wide, and then like 6 feet deep. So I could probably start in there right now. So I'm not gonna get a bigger hole anytime soon.
So I gotta bring this up because I noticed some of the Snapchats here. Are you Tom Sawyering these South Allegheny and McKeesport kids into doing all your manual labor?
Yeah. I mean, so you can't dig a good hole without a valve in there. That's rule number one. Picky is the blue collar master. If you name a blue collar job, Brian has probably had it. He's been a landscaper. He's owned a landscape company. He's built walls. He was a grave digger one time. So you got to get him in there. Dan Kudla is usually there. Dan's a solid laborer. This past weekend we had both the McCormicks and Tom's kid there.
You had his kid there?
Yeah. Well, listen. Hard work needs to be instilled from an early age.
No, fuck that. I pay the guy.
I gave him a hoagie and I bought him the donut connection.
Trevor, that's like
You got a little
$12.
You got a little strawberry, whatever the hell they get.
See, I'm so anti-manual labor. I mean, I might have to hire Hickey too because I just don't believe in it. It's just I don't believe in it starting at a young age. I believe in just working hard and just being able to pay off some peasant to do it for you. So we have different views there, Trevor. That's for sure, and definitely going to look into potentially hiring Ben Bauman down the line too because, like you said, you do need to have a Bauman when it comes to that kind of stuff.
You need to have a Bauman, and the Baumans have a thing about they only dig square holes. So if you want a perfectly square hole, you call a Bauman there, and it's done. An afternoon. Give him an afternoon and a couple of beers, and you got yourself a good hole.
Wow. I don't know how I'm friends with you guys.
I'll be up there.
All right, we got 2 more questions for you. Then we'll get you onto the trivia floor here.
Yeah, I got to win some money tonight.
Of course you do. Hey, this is a pretty personal question. Is Corbs around?
She just went up into the bar. Actually.
Damn it! I wish she was here for this question. Has your sex frequency gone up or down since you've been married?
I'd say it's probably pretty consistent. If anything, it's risen slightly, if only because we live in a condo now instead of with our parents. But you know what? The thing about getting married is, it doesn't really feel any different at all. It's kind of weird. Like you'd think it would feel different. It kind of just felt like we had a big party, and that was it.
That's a good way to look at it.
Changed. It's a weird nothing change. Because you feel like it should be different, but it's really not.
Right. No, it's noted there, and it was a great party, and we all had a great time, and I'm pretty sure I was hungover for a week after it.
Oh, that was a long day.
Yes, it was.
That was a real long day.
All right, one more question here. What is more mediocre, your fantasy football team or post-hype marriage?
Or post what?
Post-hype marriage.
Post-hype marriage?
Yeah.
I would say probably post-hype marriage. like I said, it's like it's real fun. Like, well, it's not really that much fun planning the wedding, to be honest.
Yeah, I already hate it. It's like mine's like less than 2 years away.
So it sucks planning it like right away because the girl usually wants to like get all the big stuff out of the way, like venue, DJ, photographer, caterer, and then it calms down for a while, and then it sucks like the last 2 months. And then after that, it's just over. So I remember waking up on Sunday morning after the wedding, and it was just kind of like, what, that's it? Like, no more? And my fantasy football team picked it up this week, so I hate to say they're no longer mediocre, but at this current point, they're not mediocre.
That's fair. Well, I'd like to thank you, Trevor. You gave a lot of good answers here, and you also gave a lot of wisdom to people in the league. I know someone like myself recently engaged. I appreciate it. You have veterans like George already married. And he's still banging Billy's sister a lot.
That's what I like to hear.
I'm sure he can relate to a lot of this. We got people like Ben, who poor Tina. She puts up with a lot, but he found someone who he's probably eventually gonna pop the question to, and she puts up with his shit. And she deserves a ring. And I'm sure someone like Mike, he'll be there around the corner too. We got some guys here. Carmen, just moved to fucking Harrisburg for DJ Panda. Everyone here has some kind of love story, one way or another. You got Palacio going all across the U.S. chasing after girls. You are right now someone who everyone's looking up to, and we appreciate it, Trevor.
I feel like a pioneer right now.
You are a pioneer. Well, Trevor,
in the next 3 or 4 years, we could easily have 5 weddings.
We're gonna knock out a handfuls, right?
give or take. Like probably yours is not this summer, right? Yours is the summer after.
It's looking like fall 2018.
Starting that summer, it could be 5 in a row if these shitheads plan it right.
No, we got some things to look forward to, and I know we had a blast at your wedding here. But I'd like to thank you, Trevor, for tuning in to the award-winning podcast. Hope to have you on the podcast here soon, and I will see you in Johnstown in 2 weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to Johnstown. I just submitted the roster and the team bio today, so look for that in a couple weeks.
All right. Thanks, Trevor.
All right, Ryder. Take it easy.
I'll talk to you.
Bye.
I'd like to thank Trevor for tuning in. I mean, that was probably one of the longer interviews we had. I think that was on a phone for like 15 minutes. So, wow. So there was some good wisdom there that I feel like a lot of us we can learn a thing or two from Trevor. And I'd like to thank him for tuning in here. So that concludes the Week 5 podcast here. Any questions or feedback, feel free to comment in that group me thing we got going on. And see you guys in Week 6.